Throughout this episode, we've been talking about a core strategy of citizen power that we talk about as adjusting the arena. And that involves deciding whether you want the arena to be smaller or larger, whether you want to play an inside or outside game, or whether you want to take a deep or shallow approach to exercising power. When Mayor Rice was talking about how he came into office, and even though his duties didn't specifically involve running the Seattle Public Schools, he threw open a debate about education. He created a citywide education summit. He was going big. He was enlarging the arena to change the nature of that game. When you think about the organizers who've been pushing against the building of this new youth detention center, they've been combining very effectively both an inside game in city council and county council, as well as an outside game of pressure and protest. And they've certainly been really focusing on the question of deep power, because their fight has not just been about this specific building at this specific time, which would be an instance of shallow power. Their fight has been about changing the way we think about treating young people and the way in which our system right now incarcerates too many young people of color. That's a deep power question. In all of these dimensions, small or large, inside or outside, deep or shallow, again, the key is to know yourself, know your situation, see the environment around you, and adjust at all times. If you can see through these lenses, whether you're a beginning organizer or activist or someone who's very experienced, you'll be able to adjust to circumstances, but you'll also be able to change circumstances and exercise power in a different way. Well, every episode we love to hear your questions and ideas in this social media segment, and I want to actually spend some time speaking to a couple of questions that have come in. Now, the first one came in from Jessica on Facebook, and it's kind of a profound question for this moment that we are living through right now. Should we stop viewing politicians as leaders? You know, I guess my answer is we shouldn't stop viewing them as leaders, but we should stop viewing them as the only leaders or the first leaders. And what we should as citizens begin to do is to start seeing ourselves as the leaders, ourselves as the catalysts, and ourselves as the people who change the frame of what is possible. In so many instances, elected officials are lagging indicators, not leading indicators of sentiment and public opinion. They will follow where the people go. And so we, the people, have to be able and willing to organize and activate and create space and room for our elected officials to say, oh, okay, I want to get in that bandwagon. I want to run in front of that parade. And that's how so much of politics happens in normal circumstances, but especially today. A second question comes in, sort of in the same spirit, actually, from Dana on Facebook. How can we best organize for capacity and stamina? And again, in this time of upheaval and citizen activism and power and organizing, there's a lot of great energy right now. But the analogy I've been using is, certainly in the last few weeks and months, it's as if tons of people who for a long, long time have been on the sidelines have suddenly decided to run out on the field and start playing and start exercising and moving. And that's great. It's great that they're out in that field. But pretty soon, it could be next week, next month, next quarter, they're going to start realizing, holy cow, I'm out of shape. They're going to be sucking wind. They're going to be on their hands and knees like this, just throwing up, basically. And when that moment arrives, and for some people it's already arriving, they have to be able to step back and say, okay, I got a taste of what it was like to get on that field. Now I have to commit to getting in shape for the long game. And what that means is actually working with other people to build the small skills that help build citizen muscle, the small skills of organizing. Organizing isn't some fancy thing about tens of millions of people. Organizing is, can you get two other people to show up for something? Organizing is about, can you arrange and make things happen? But then it's not just organizing, it's, do you have the skills to make a case in public? Can you listen to somebody who disagrees with you skillfully? Can you take what you see around you and what you feel around you and use that to make a new kind of story that people want to get involved in? We're not born knowing how to do these things, but if we want to organize for capacity and stamina, we have to build these skills step by step and train in a stepwise way to get in shape as citizens. That's partly what this show is about and why we created this show, is to give you a taste of how to build these skills and think about strategy. But all of it relies on you as a citizen showing up and continuing to commit to showing up. What we want to do is invite you, if you've got more questions on social media, to reach out to us, #CitizenUTV. You can tweet at us, you can email at us at this address, contact@seattlechannel.org. We love hearing from you. We like to hear your ideas, your questions. They feed the way that we think about these topics, and we hope to continue that conversation. Thank you so much for joining this episode. We've wrapped up here in thinking about adjusting the arena, and we hope that you'll join us for future conversations about other strategies of citizen power. I'm Eric Liu. This is Citizen University TV. Thanks for joining us.